All right. Just as I thought that the first week of Delta has delivered the most profound transformation, little did I know, but I should have known that the second week has delivered an even more profound transformation. Well, the first one, if you haven't watched it, was more about the issue I was consciously struggling with and relaxing into the spinning, never ending, always coming at me flow of life, that the life won't settle down. I just need to become comfortable with it and find the still point inside. This epiphany this morning in a conversation with my Delta partner brought to light something that was a lifelong pattern that was unconscious. And as Delta serendipity would have it, both me and my partner were struggling with it. So it was very natural way to just bounce our inquiry and our exploration and our challenge back and forth between the issues she was having and the reflections and issues I was having and noticing in her issue. And that's just the magic of Delta, where it just makes you feel so connected and at one and recognize yourself and other people. And that's the whole exercise, is evolving as a whole organism rather than individually. It's just magical. Has to be experienced to be believed. So yes, as my partner was sharing her upheaval centered around giving and it always coming back, turning into some sort of a drama, not being appreciated, etc. I clearly straight away recognize my own patterns in it, my own overgiving, my own giving to exhaustion. And as I've already talked about it, I have Gene Key 40, which is exhaustion, resolve, and divine will in my SKU. And I've been working with it for the last few months, really wanting to dive into this way of being, of like ego begun. I'm just going to surrender myself to the divine will, and whatever life brings towards me is for my own and the guy's good of the whole. And I should just go with it because the whole knows better than I possibly can in my limited brain. But the first time I did this experiment, I burned out within weeks. So this time I was invited again to step up and do a lot more and be a lot more involved. Life was bringing me a lot more. And I knew going into this Delta that I'm invited to learn this lesson again. How do I be of the greatest service to the whole without burning out? And what dropped in really powerfully from this conversation this morning was, first of all, the inquiry around why do I give and what is the motivation behind giving. Mind you, I stepped into position 5 this week, which is all about selfishness versus selflessness, and how selfishness is in fact sometimes needed to be selfless, and that we can't just be entirely giving without giving to ourselves. And this whole, it's this delicate exploration of interplay between selflessness and selfishness. So it's very important. And yeah, basically it's a reminder to me to, no matter how malformed, I should probably record it right after my epiphanies, because now it's just starting to fade. I thought giving it time would help me formulate my insights better, but it feels like giving it time makes it fade. So note to self to record straight away. But what felt like a life-changing epiphany was, first of all, realizing that yes, there is this like absolute addiction to just giving, and where it's coming from is a lack of self-worth. But it feels so natural. It feels like, well, I should be giving and I should be of service. And isn't that what the Jinkies and many other spiritual teachings are all about? Just completely lose yourself in service, and by being of the greater good to the whole, greatest service to the whole will then support me. But then putting it this way feels, okay, did I just abjugate my responsibility for myself to the whole? Oh, as long as I'm being of the greatest service, like, that's it, the whole will take care of me. Probably not the right way. And both of us really resonated and played a lot with this concept of we as the cells of greater human body of humanity. And what does the cell really do? As my partner noted, the cells aren't running around trying to help other cells, are they? No. They are first and foremost maintaining their integrity. They are giving, they are helping, but in only insofar as they're maintaining their own boundaries, they're maintaining their own well-being. Yeah, just imagining the mess it would be that if all the cells were like just endlessly giving of themselves without taking care of themselves, you probably wouldn't have much body left. So first there was that level of exploration. Okay, if we're the cells within the human body, what does the cell behave as? And how does it give? Yes, it gives. Yes, it works in unison. Yes, it cannot survive in isolation. But the way it maintains itself isn't through giving and then being supported. It takes very good care of itself. I mean, it maintains its own integrity. So that dropped in a major way, because at first I was all like, oh yes, I understand the need to take care of myself just so that I can be in fuller capacity to give to others. But there was still this subtle subtext of, oh, I'm only going to take care of myself insofar that I can then give to others. So again, this kind of like self-effacing kind of, I'm only taking care of myself to give to others. There is no real sense of caring for myself as the end in itself. And this is when it was so like, wow, it really is so, it's just so prevalent. Like it's under, like even my desire to become a Gene Keys guide, I'm like, okay, I'm happy now, I don't need anything else, I'm just gonna, what else I'm gonna do with my time? I'm just gonna give. Like it's so, it's just everywhere I look. And needless to say, it's now coming at me so fast, the desire to learn, to give, to explore this and that, and that I am finding myself burning out. I am finding myself staying way up too late and not taking care of myself. So that's where I was like, it's slowly sliding into this burnout zone again, and I'm definitely not learning a lesson. So it really feel like, it felt really important, because it felt like my entire newly constructed worldview of like, oh yes, I'm a cell within the human body of humanity, and as long as I'm giving of myself, the greater intelligence of the whole will take care of me. Like this whole permission to just disappear in service, suddenly I saw it for what it was. It was this like incomplete, not very healthy view of reality. And I'm glad that I wasn't, I was contemplating it, but I wasn't yet like putting it out there as a message. And I was thinking, oh, maybe I need to learn more skills. But no, because it was incomplete message. I haven't lived it through completely to see its fallacy. And then this piece dropped in where it was incorrect all along. The first and foremost, the most important thing is for me to take care of myself as the greatest cell in human body. That's how it functions. And then there is yet another layer, the holographic layer of the representation, that if I'm the cell in the greater body of humanity, but at the same time I'm the holographic, my body is a holographic representation of this greater body of humanity, then there is yet another reason for me to first and foremost to take care of my cell and of my body, because it's by maintaining the integrity and the aliveness, and just putting my body as the first and most important piece to take care of, is that this is how I holographically contribute to the greater, being of the greatest service to the whole. Because the way I treat my body is the way the holographic me and the divinity and the whole body of humanity will treat itself. So if I'm not prioritizing caring for my body, revitalizing all the cells and doing whatever best I can, then why would I be expecting the greater intelligence, the greater mind of the body of humanity to be taking care of my cell as a cell? So the way I treat my body is the way that the holographically the whole body of humanity would treat me as a cell within it. I know it's raw, and I like that it's raw. I like exploring this. I like exploring this on video like this. So very happy to have found this outlet and enjoying it so far. And yeah, this is it. Um, this is the cutting edge new idea of how to live. Oh, and then another really important thing that with my exploration of SQ Gene Key 40, exhaustion, resolve, divine will, I get the exhaustion. God, I get the exhaustion almost daily. I get the divine will. This is my aspiration. Polina's ego disappears, and I'm just in the stream of life, being the instrument of the divine, whatever it needs of me, like I'm just contributing. But the resolve I could never quite understand. And Richard also speaks about it as the gift of relaxation. And I was like, well, why didn't he just call it relaxation? I understand relaxation, the need to relax, this and that. But the resolve to me seemed like the opposite. It seemed like, okay, I'm so determined and on point and focused on achieving some goal that like resolve. I'm like, got my eye on the prize and I'm going to go at it. Seemingly without, like, it almost felt like it was calling to neglect personal needs with the resolve to, but then it dropped in so powerfully because I was like, wait a minute, I'm getting it. As we were exploring with my partner, what does this feel like to be centered, to have the self-worth? Like, how do we not go on? How do we know when we're giving too much or we give over giving like that? Where does this balance, where does this line draws? And that was what was coming up for me, is that my body knows. I know very well, like, this is really when I'm centered, when I'm balanced, when I have had enough sleep, enough nourishment, when I've had enough of everything, then I can give. But then I know when I start like just starting to be a little off-centered is when I wake up and I, reach for another cacao because I'm tired, but I feel like I need to be working and be productive. So instead of sleeping, I get a chocolate or I get this. So I know this. I see it. So instead of giving my body what it needs, rest or relaxation, or not working that at that time, but just resting, which happens a lot. But then I thought that no, but life is bringing me all these things to do, so it means I have to stretch myself and do them. So I was neglecting the body needs, and it's starting the cycle of overgiving, of staying up too late. And then because I stayed up too late, then I'm underslept, then my next day's decision making isn't very sharp. So I'm doing things that aren't as important, not doing the things that are important, and it just snowballs from there. Then at the end at night, I realize that I haven't done the important things, which makes me stay up again late, trying to catch up. So yes, this is where my previous view of life was not correct, where I thought that as long as I give myself fully to the service, I will have the energy and the whole will support me, and this is how to be following what I need to be doing, responding to life Where now I realize that no, it is not. So where I need the resolve, where the resolve dropped in is the most, like, this is it. I got the gift of resolve. Is I need to resolve to take care of myself no matter what. As soon as I feel that I'm like just veering slightly off center, it doesn't matter what is required of me. I need to apologize. I need to let people know, but I need to resolve to take care of myself as the most important thing in my life ever from now on. For me to be of the greatest service to the whole, I need to be my optimal self best. This is it. This is like I can, the cells are celebrating, I'm celebrating. I can almost feel my SQ spiritual quotient opening to like, hooray, I got it. Am I still doing it? Probably not, because it's almost 9 p.m. and I'm recording this video, but I really felt like it was important to capture this. I know I'm overusing it a lot, but it feels like the first day of the rest of my life with this realization and this resolve to take care of myself is the most important thing in my life. This is it. This is how I can be of the greatest service to the whole. Yes, responding to life, but responding to life speaking to me from within my body first and foremost. My body, listening to my body first, and only then external, and only then mind downloads. It's the body knows, and this is my vehicle, this is my cell, this is my holographic representation of the entire universe, and just this is it. Thank you very much. It was a great exploration, and can't wait to keep distilling and formalizing it even more and more and more and more, and really so excited to bring in this knowledge and this message out into the world. Still don't know how and what shape it will take, but I was just like, this is it. Like, I got it. I got the secret to life.